Alright, so everybody looking at page 543, right? Alright, so you need to be there. We are talking about what two things today?
Mixed
numbers and improper fractions. So we're kind of adding a new type of number here. So we've talked about whole numbers, right? We've talked about fractions. Fractions are less than 1, but greater than 0. All right, less than 1, but greater than 0. Then we talked about what happens when I need a whole number and a fraction together. What do I call those? Mixed numbers. Now we're going to talk about a different kind of fraction called an improper fraction. And I know that every one of us have seen these before because it showed us on our IXL skill with the comparing fractions. Now, I do have a quick little video that I think is fun that I like to show for this lesson. So just listen up. Now, most of you have seen improper fractions. What do we think, before we get into the lesson, what do we think makes an improper?
It has
a big number on top.
It has a big number on top, right? It has a bigger numerator than denominator. So that's basically right. Now, really, even if I have like 6, 6, it's still considered improper because I can write it as what?
1
So if my numerator is greater than or equal to the denominator, it's improper. Okay? All right. So is this one improper?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, because it's bigger than my numerator. Now, what do I call this one?
Proper.
It's a mixed number. Mixed number. And the mixed number is telling the improper fraction that's not the proper way to behave. Now, you don't want to leave your fractions as improper, but for this lesson, since we're learning about improper fractions, we might have to leave them improper because that's what our papers want, right? Some of y'all are not with me. So, let's watch a little video on it.
We speak student.
Improper fractions and mixed numbers, a la schmo. Numbers come in all shapes and sizes. Some are big and some are little. Some are whole, and others are a bit fractured. As far as fractions go, it's a mixed bag. Some fractions are proper. Some are improper. And then there are those that are just a little mixed up. Who am I? Proper fractions have a numerator that's smaller than the denominator, which means they're always less than 1. Proper fractions also donate to charities and volunteer in soup kitchens. They know they're not greater than anyone else around them. Improper fractions, on the other hand, are a little full of themselves. They've got big heads, well, big numerators anyway. In improper fractions, the numerator is bigger than the denominator, which means they're greater than 1.
I've won one.
Since fractions aren't supposed to be greater than 1, we call these guys improper. They're a bit on the rude side.
Well, I never.
But if they get on our nerves, we can change them into mixed numbers. Mixed numbers are combinations of whole numbers and fractions, so they may be a bit confused at times. Maybe they're going through an identity crisis or something. We don't really know.
Am I a whole number or am I a fraction?
It's in the self-control. Alright, so I stopped it right there because I didn't want it to go into the next skill. Alright, so Micah, these need to go in your keep at home folder for math, and then you can get on it as long as you can stay quiet.
Okay, but I just said no, because it said that right there.
Alright, so after watching this video, it's told us our improper fractions kind of have a big head, right? So, because we're going to kind of use that whenever we talk about our improper fractions. They have the big head. Why? Because they're
Bigger than the denominator.
the numerators are bigger than the denominator, right?
Yes,
All right, so let's look at improper fractions on this paper. Case is going to read it for us. We're going to follow along as he reads it and listen up.
And improper fractions has a numerator that is greater than or equal to its denominator.
Good.
Mixed numbers can be written as improper fractions.
Good. All right, so let's underline this first sentence because we need to know that. An improper fraction has a numerator that is greater than or equal to. That means that if I have 5/5, guess what? It is what?
Equal to a whole. It's an improper fraction.
It's an improper fraction. If it's the same or bigger, then it's considered improper. Because I can write this on my line, right? Now, let's infer. Let's use a little bit of your reading skills. Let's infer. If these two, if I have taken mixed numbers and improper fractions and they're in the same lesson together, what can we infer about mixed numbers and improper fractions? Why would they be in the same lesson together?
Because they're both.
Because you can make an improper fraction of mixed numbers.
Because I can make just what Kel said.
Yeah.
I can fix my improper fractions and turn them into a
Mixed fraction.
or mixed
Number.
number, or I can take my mixed number and turn it into an
Improper fraction.
Now, I want you to kind of match these because these are equivalent. They're equal to one another. I hope y'all are with me. These are equal to one another. My 1 1/2 is equal to 3 halves. My 2 3/4 is equal to 11 fourths. My 3 5/6 is equal to 23 sixths. Now, what do we notice about my mixed numbers that's different than my improper fractions? Just looking at them. Addie.
The mixed numbers have a whole.
Very good. Y'all, mixed numbers. Do my Tessie feet down up here. Do my improper fractions have a whole number?
No.
Everybody better answer. Do they?
No.
No, they do not. If you're writing an improper fraction on the table, you don't need a whole number. I only need a whole number when I write what?
Mixed numbers.
Mixed numbers. Everybody tell me that.
Mixed
Because y'all didn't do that on the thing that we just went over, and I want us to remember that. I need 2 parts for mixed numbers. What 2 parts do I need?
Whole and a fraction.
Whole and a fraction. Now, for improper fractions, Addie told us we don't need a whole number. Why don't we need a whole number?
Because
Because my numerator is bigger. So it's kind of like my big whole number is hiding up here in that numerator. That's what makes it so big. My whole number is no longer out front. It's hiding up top because the numerator is so big. Okay? Now I'm going to show you how we find it. Now, let's look at example 1. Mason, read example 1. That name is Nyogo.
Nyoko is selling pies at a bake sale. Each pie has 5 slices. There are 5 slices left. What fraction of the pies are left?
All right, so he's selling pies at a bake sale. It says each pie has what?
5 slices.
What is that 5 slices?
That's the
total. That's my total. That's my denominator. Good. So let's write total. We're just going to abbreviate BEN. We'll just abbreviate. That's my denominator. Why is it 7 my denominator?
Because it's left. The left.
Well, that's how many are
left.
It told me each pie has how many slices?
5.
So when I find my denominator, I got to count the number of slices in my pie. Not how many are left, but how many my pies cut into, right? Okay. So I'm going to explain what they have on your paper. Then I'm going to show you the easy way. All right, so on your paper, how many, first off, what unit fraction am I dealing with? What's my denominator?
Your denominator says mixed
Y'all, I just literally just talked about this. Everybody should be saying something.
5.
What's my denominator?
5.
How do I know that?
Because the total
That's my total number of slices in my pie. Everybody should be saying 5. That's not a hard thing. So I'm going to be dealing with fifths, right? Because that's my denominator. Now, how many pieces of pie did they say were left over?
7.
So I've got 1, 2,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Now, there's two ways I can look at this. Right now, the easiest way is my improper fraction. How many 1/5 do I have? 7. So I can write this as an improper fraction and say that it is 7/5. Okay? Agree? But if I look at this with my wholes and my parts, how many pieces of pie am I going to need to make a whole?
5.
All right, so let's make a whole. So let me put these together. So move them over. Sometimes they connect. All right, so I'm making my whole. How many pieces do I need to make a whole?
5.
5, right? So I'm putting them together. Putting them together. All right. Now I have my whole, but guess what?
You have to.
I just have 2 pieces left over. I have 2 pieces left over, right? So, now, we've already said that my improper fraction for this was what?
7/5.
7/5. Now let's look at it as wholes and parts. Let's look at it as a mixed number. How many wholes do I have?
1.
What, 1 and? What's my fraction?
2/5.
Now, I'm going to show you an easy way using math with how to start with one and get the other. We're going to go both ways. Because you're going to have to take improper fractions and make them into mixed numbers. Then you're going to have to take mixed numbers and turn them into
Improper fractions.
Now, while we're talking about these models up here, how many of us can draw these models perfectly like they are on the board? No one. So I should not see you using these models on your scratch paper to compare. I notice that a lot with our comparing fractions. What do I want you to use whenever we compare fractions? Your numbers. Use your math. Same thing here. I want you to use your math. Now, on a lot of this, they will give us models, which is great. But guess what? Are we always going to have models? No. So we got to get used to doing it with the math. If we have models, great. Use them. Check it. But I want you to use the math, okay? So let me go back. I'm going to bookmark this.
But they already have models for this one.
Aaron, baby, that's what I just said. All right, so let's get back here. All right, now, fill this in for me down there. We already know what my mixed number is going to be. What's my mixed number going to be?
1 and 2/5.
And then what's my improper fraction?
7/5.
Now, I need you to notice this. My mixed number has what 2 parts?
Whole and a fraction.
A whole and a fraction. Y'all with me? Stop drawing on these papers. A whole and a fraction. Look at your improper fraction. What does it have?
Fraction.
It's only a fraction. Don't start putting the whole number in front of here. I don't need a whole number in front of here because it's hidden. That's why it's what? It's big head, right? Now, here's what we do. Let's start with my mixed number. So I want you to come, don't write too big because you need to give yourself some room. Let's write my mixed number. Write it for me. Write it for me. So we have our mixed number. This is the way it's supposed to be written, but your directions say make this mixed number improper. Now, how do you think this mixed number feels? He's the correct way. He's the proper way. How do you think he feels about being made improper? Do you think he's happy about it? Nope. No, I probably wouldn't be happy about it either. So he's a little salty. He's a little upset. He's a little mad. So when they give me a mixed number, he gets mad. I want everybody write mad up there. Now, we're about to make this mixed number mad. Which number do I like, on the fraction part, which number do I like y'all to look at first?
Denominator.
Denominator. Yeah, it's kind of my favorite. Let's look at the denominator. What is my denominator?
5.
All right, so let's start with 5. When I make it mad, that's an acronym. What do you think M stands for?
Multiplication.
Multiply. Put a little bitty multiplication symbol right there in between your 5 and your 1. I can't do it good. Adeline, you need to leave that here alone and get that pencil in my hand. Leave it. Drop it. Multiplication right there. Now, that means I'm going to multiply right there. We're going to do it all together in a minute. After my M, I have an A. What do you think the A is? I'm going to add in between here. I can't write mine very straight from the side.
And
So
the
you
D
do better
stands
than me.
for
Hey, no. Let me teach. Don't say it. So M stands for?
Multiplication.
A stands for?
Addition.
And this is why I stopped you on the D, because I'm going to say the D, because D does not stand for division. It stands for the denominator. Keep the denominator the
Same.
All right, now let's try this. Let's put my equal sign because I'm about to turn it into an improper fraction. So let's see if we remember. What number am I starting with right now? Y'all got to be on the board. 5. Start with that denominator. 5 times 1 is 5. Then I'm going to say 5 plus
2
is
7.
There's my new numerator, and my denominator stays a.
5.
That's how we do it when we don't have models.
Now I get it.
Now, I got to teach you the other way, though. What happens when they give me, let me make this a different color so it'll stand out. What happens when they give me 7/5 and I don't have models, and they say, okay, fix it. Make it into a what? Mixed number. Now, I'm making this into a mixed number, so I should have what 2 parts out here?
Fraction a whole.
Fractions in a whole. Now, y'all got this quicker than my other class where we talked about it. What does that little bitty bar stand for?
Division.
Division. So guess what you're going to do?
5.
You're going to come out here, and this improper fraction is so excited. He's going to do the big-headed backflip. Now he's kind of stuck in midair, but what that means is like he's flipping, like he's flipped, he's going this way, he's happy, he's going to do that big-headed backflip. We divide. So, y'all, this is why I tell y'all I'm connecting things and it doesn't even, you don't even know it. Way back when we learned about division, I'd ask you, how many whole times does 5 go into 7?
1.
All right? 1 times 5 is
5.
7 minus 5 is
2.
So I get 1 remainder 2. So wait, I gotta make my mixed number now. So let me go back and ask that question again that I asked way back in division. How many whole times does 5 go into 7?
1.
Guess what my whole number is?
1.
There we go. Boom. 1. Now, I kind of think of this as, okay, this one's important. It's my only one up here on top. Now, sometimes we might have a 2-digit number, and that's fine. Or even 3-digit, but it's my one on top. It gets to be my whole number, right? Now, I want y'all to draw your fraction bar right beside it. Think about your denominator first, because that one's the easy part. My denominator, always.
Stays the same.
Let's go ahead, eyes up here. Let's go ahead. Put my denominator, because whenever you do that, it really only leaves one number that we haven't dealt with yet. What number?
Remainder.
The remainder. Where do you think remainder needs to go?
Numerator.
Very good. It's my numerator. So that's how you get it with math. And anytime that you do that big-headed backflip, anytime you divide, check it real quick. 5 times 1 is?
5.
Plus 2 is? 5 plus 2 is 7. It's on the top, and my denominator stays the
Same.
boom. There you are. That's how we do it. So let's practice it. Flip over. Now, I know you can divide these small numbers, but I still have to see it because I need to know that you're putting your numbers in the right spots. All right, Kel, read at the top of this page for me, please, sir.
You can change a mixed number to an improper fraction. You can also change an improper fraction to a mixed number.
All right, good. So that's what we just did. We've kind of already talked about this. So now we're just practicing. Write 1 3/8 as a what?
Improper fraction.
I have my whole already. Whenever I get an improper fraction, what am I going to see? What should it look like?
It should be.
Big numbers on top.
I should have the big head. Should I have a whole number?
No.
I already have a whole number right here. So, what I want you to do is I want you to come out here and write this a little larger. This is the right way. This is the lesson you all already know, right? This is the proper way. So what's going to happen whenever we make him improper?
He's gonna get mad.
He's going to get mad. So right away I look at my denominator and I say M for mad is
Multiplication.
8 times 1 is
Oh,
8. Then I'm going to do the A. I'm going to add. 8 plus 3 is
11.
11. That's my numerator. And then my D doesn't stand for divide. It stands for keep the denominator the same. And there we go. Circle it. Easy peasy. Now, if you look at your shapes, if they give you a model, you all know how to do this part. Right? But let's find the improper fraction in this model. Alright? I want everybody to count these shaded parts with me. First, what's my denominator? 8. Because there's 8 total, so my denominator's got to be 8. But I want y'all to count the shaded parts with me. Don't stop till I stop. Here we go. Y'all ready?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's your numerator.
That's my numerator. It's just what kind of fraction now? Improper. It's too big, right? Now, that's why whenever we were comparing, that's why I kind of hated that it gave it to you already on comparing, because you really didn't know that much about it, but now you really do. It was kind of a good heads up. When I have an improper fraction, I know all improper fractions are greater than what number? 1. Because they have the big head, right? Okay. So, let's fill in my blanks right here. Fill them in, fill them in. Now, here's the other way. It's easy, and it's easy, but doing them together, it's going to probably be a little what? Little confusing, but you can do it. We can do hard things, right? Now, write 9/4 as a mixed number. I really want to see if y'all do better than my home rate, because I think y'all can. All right, so write 9/4 as a mixed number. Look, do I have a whole number up there? No. So I've got to write a mixed number. That means I need 2 parts. I need a whole number and a fraction part, all right? Now, it's improper. I'm about to give him a whole number. He's getting happy, so he's going to do the big-headed backflip, right? So here we go. Watch this, because I can move mine. You can't, but so woohoo, he does his backflip. We're kind of flipping that around, and then there we go. We got our big-headed backflip, right? So y'all need to write it out to the side. Listen, 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 listen. Open your ears. I know you can divide 9/4. I know you can. I still got to see it. Because I'm not just dividing this out. I've got to take my numbers and do what with them?
Not go over it.
Put them into a mixed number,
Yeah.
right? So you're doing a little bit more than division. So 4 going to 9, how many whole times? 2.
8.
Right there. And if you want to go ahead and write it down, guess what? That's my whole number. That number that goes on top is your whole number. Because my remainder is what's going to be left over. We've already talked about it. It's just now it's left over in a fraction. Good. 2 times 4 is?
8.
1 is 1 less than 4.
Yes.
Anything to write down?
No.
So I get 2 remainder 1. Now, I like to do it this way so I don't get confused. Put your denominator, because my denominator never ever put my denominator. Then let's look and see what's left up here.
The remainder.
My remainder, which was
1.
Now, here's some good news about improper fractions and mixed numbers. You get to take a break on simplest form. Now, if it's anything else, we can't take a break. If it's anything else, if it's equivalent fractions, if it's comparing and ordering, whatever it is, I can't take a break. Only time I can take a break on simplest form is when it's what? Improper fractions and mixed numbers. And we're going to see why with this one. Now, I do want y'all to do this one by yourself, but listen, homework's going to be the same. I'm going to read this, and I want y'all to call out the very next word when I stop. Write a mixed number. And. All right, let's do it again. Write a mixed number. And. In math, and means that I'm going to have to do something, combine it, right? I need a mixed number on that line, and I need a what?
Improper fraction.
All right, so write both of those for me on the line because you're about to do it by yourself. All right, so did we get it?
Yes, ma'am.
What did we get as our mixed number?
146.
1 and
4, 6.
now this is why we don't want to simplify when we're changing improper fractions and mixed numbers. If I change that denominator by simplifying, it's going to change my denominator from an improper fraction, and that's just too much work. So we get to take a break, but only on mixed numbers and improper fractions. Now, that's the easy one to make, and to me, this is the easy one to do because I just make it math. I don't have to divide. 6 times 1 is,
6.
everybody talking, 6 times 1 is
6.
6 plus 4 is,
10.
and my denominator
6.
That's not
changed.
stays the same.
Same. Because we don't add the 6.
Now, this is a really good question. Why do the improper fraction and mixed number right here, why do they have the same denominator?
Because it doesn't.
Because you don't multiply
The size of my pieces don't change. It's just I'm either making a hole with them or I'm spreading them out like I did on the board, right? Improper fraction. All right, so before we put this in our study folder, some of us might want to leave this out to help us through classwork, but go to homework. On homework, we are doing all of it tonight because it's not difficult and it's pretty short. Write a mixed number and an improper fraction. So on the first two, how many answers should be on the line? 2. All right, flip over. On 3 and 4, I got to write a mixed number and improper fraction. So how many things on the line?
2.
Now, look, this is what I want you to do. On classwork, on homework, if it says these 4 words. Draw a model 2. I want you to mark it out. I just want you to write 2 3/5 as an improper fraction. I don't want you to draw a model. Right over here. Mark that out. I don't want you to draw a model. I just want you to write that number as a mixed number. Glancing over this, number 7 has 2 question marks, so what would that mean?
2 answers.
Number 8 says explain. Number 9 says explain. And then just multiple choice. All right. So now,